This is Fred Wall, the Visa Coach, and today's topic is how to bring your Chinese fiancé to the USA.
VisaCoach. Fast, easy, and personal.
I am Fred Wall, the Visa Coach, and I am known for the personal, one-on-one relationship that we share. That's you, me, and your partner as we work together as a team to overcome the many challenges of immigration. Please don't risk your happiness. Don't go this course alone. Alone, it's far too easy to make mistakes that cause tears, delays, and expensive denials. Do well, just pick up the phone and speak with me directly so that you and I can get to know each other. And this is the complimentary case evaluation I'll talk about later. If we are compatible, well, that'll be the beginning of our beautiful relationship, well, to get you the immigration approvals that you need. Now, this is what two of my clients, Dan and Ying, had to say. Ying comes from China, and I helped her get her K1 fiancé visa. Hello, Fred. Thank you for all your help in getting my wife here and getting us through the visa approval process. Thank you very, very much for all your hard work. You're welcome. I purchased Fred Wall's package for the front-loaded K1 visa petition and also the adjustment of status petition package. My fiancé from China and I were very glad we did. He coached us every step of the process. He helped us by letting us know exactly what to do, and he prepared a very professional package of all of our documents to submit to start the process. He then guided us every step of the way from submission through the consulate interview process, getting her visa, traveling to the US, getting married, and getting through the green card interview. He really did a great job getting everything together for us, and I cannot recommend his services highly enough. We will use his services again in 2 years to remove conditions on residency. Thank you, Fred. Well, you are most welcome, Dan and Ying. It has been, well, a pleasure to work with the two of you. Now, let's talk about how to bring your Chinese fiancé to the USA. Your Chinese fiancé needs permission from the US government to allow her or him to enter the USA, and this is called a K1 fiancé visa. So first, we'll work together to produce a thick packet of forms, evidences, and civil documents. This is required to demonstrate that you are eligible to apply and that your true agenda is a genuine life together, not immigration fraud. The application itself, well, looks pretty simple. It asks for name, rank, serial number. And this often leads to overconfidence. Couples who don't really understand what all will happen fill in the blanks themselves, submit the petition, and usually end up, well, shooting themselves in the foot. This typically results in the leading cause of denial, which is failure to convince the consular officer who interviews your fiancé that your relationship is genuine, is bona fide. Sadly, U.S. immigration has had bad experience in the past with this type of romance visa. Many who were not eligible applied for fiancé visas, and in reality, they were not seeking a marriage partner, but only seeking admission to the USA. Gold diggers, gigolos, con men, even terrorists have used fiancé visas as a backdoor into the USA. And normally in the USA, one is innocent until proven guilty. Well, because of the bad apples who abused fiancé visas before you, now immigration takes the attitude you are guilty until proven innocent. And this is how a lot of couples, well, get into trouble. They sadly end up shocked at what happens at the interview. See, because they are in love, they assumed that no special effort to prove their situation was needed. They just assumed that the consular officer would instantly approve. He just recognized a consular officer for the interview. But sadly, just having your chance at bat, chance to interview, is typically not enough to win approval. It's not enough to demonstrate that your application is bona fide. Now, the consular officer must dig, ask a lot of questions, and it can easily deteriorate into what feels like an interrogation until he feels he has enough feeling about the case to make a yes or no decision. And if he is short of time or impatient or closed-minded or in a bad mood, or if your fiancé is not fast and fluent enough in English to provide convincing answers, the simpler course for the officer, the safer course that does not risk his career or professional reputation, is to deny. My signature philosophy at VisaCoach is that we achieve success by doing, well, the consular officer's job for him. What that means is that, well, a consular officer starts with a certain expectation of what an eligible couple looks like. If we show him proof that the couple's situation matches his expectations, well, then we're moving the case towards approval. So when I work with a couple, I first discuss with them what they have been doing, and then I explain what the consular officer they will be interviewed at expects. And then I suggest what actions the couple should take to do the right thing. Okay. For example, the consulate in Guangzhou has some fairly high expectations. In general, couples who are able to speak directly to each other without a translator, who have met more often than just one single trip, and who did not get engaged quickly or prior to their face-to-face meeting, have a higher chance of success, well, than other normal couples. Doing the right thing, however, well, is not good enough. Next, we need to document that the right thing was done. So I teach my clients ways to create evidences that show what happened. And I review these evidences to pick and choose the most relevant and effective ones. But having evidences that the right thing was done, well, still isn't good enough. Last, we have got to make sure the officer sees the evidences. And that's what a bare bones, do-it-yourself or cheap form-filling service misses. It's a full set of well thought out, well selected, and properly presented persuasive evidences of a couple's bona fides. And that's what VisaCoach front-loaded petition is all about. We include with every application high quality evidences specifically demonstrating that you have a bona fide relationship. We front load the evidences in the original application because we know that these evidences will get into the consular officer's hands before the interview starts. Because we know that the consular officer always reviews the original application materials before the interview starts. And so that way, my front-loaded applications are crafted, well, to do the consular officer's job for him. During his review, before your fiancé sits down in front of his desk, the consular officer should have already seen and reviewed the type of evidences that allow him to confidently approve your visa. He should be very receptive to say, well, yes, even before your fiancé sits down. The petition package we make is mailed to USCIS, the United States Customs and Immigration Service, to their offices in Dallas, Texas. Now, in 2018, USCIS takes about, 7 to 8 months just to review and approve. That's their part. This includes a criminal background check conducted on you by the FBI. Now, this is vastly slower than in recent years and is due to the executive orders issued by President Trump for USCIS to conduct more vigorous reviews, so-called extreme vetting of all cases. Now, when finished, USCIS then hands the case over to the U.S. State Department's National Visa Center, NVC, based in New Hampshire. Fiancé visa applications are held only briefly at NVC, usually a few weeks, just long enough for NVC to assign a new case number and forward your file via diplomatic pouch to the consulate in Guangzhou, China. Case numbers assigned to Guangzhou begin with GUZ. Now, once the case arrives at Guangzhou, the visa interview can usually be conducted in about, 2 to 3 months later. And do be aware that even though there are, 6 locations of U.S. consulates spread around China, the U.S. State Department has decided to concentrate all consular staff involved in processing, vetting, and interviewing of fiancé visa applications in just one place, the consulate in Guangzhou. So regardless of where your fiancé lives in China, his or her interview will only take place at the U.S. consulate located in Guangzhou. About the same time your case is on its way overseas, I update you on what the current procedures are at the consulate. I guide you and your fiancé on what needs to be done, how to schedule the interview, where to take the medical, what final fees are needed, and how to obtain required official documents, such as, well, police clearances and certificates of singleness or no marriage. I prepare the affidavit of support for your signature, and I guide you to select which financial evidences are needed to demonstrate that you are financially eligible to sponsor your fiancé. Finally, in the run-up to the interview, I provide a detailed, personalized checklist on what all your fiancé should bring with him or her to the consulate on the day of the interview. Now, this is especially important, as forgetting to bring a required document can cause weeks of delays, as even if a missing document is provided the following day, the consulate officers have already moved on to new cases, and they make it a very low priority to reopen a case to verify that the case is finally complete after a late submission. Now, 1 to 2 weeks before the interview, your fiancé must undergo a thorough medical exam and review of his or her vaccinations at a clinic appointed by the consulate. The good news is that there are 4 clinics to choose from in China, and one of them may be more convenient to your fiancé than the one in Guangzhou. These clinics are located in Beijing, Fuzhou, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. Finally, your fiancé attends the interview at the U.S. consulate in Guangzhou. This is the big event. During the interview, the consular officer must be convinced your relationship is bona fide, not a sham for immigration purposes. And as previously mentioned, at the interview is where the high-quality VisaCoach front-loaded application, well, typically wins the day. The consular officer always reviews the case file before the interview starts. So we craft your application so that he finds many good reasons why he should trust you and approve the visa. Now, even before he invites your fiancé to sit in front of his desk, we want him to have seen our carefully selected and presented evidences and thus be mentally prepared to say yes. Now, typically, this kind of interview turns into a fast and friendly formality. So most VisaCoach clients here welcome to the USA in just about 3 to 4 minutes. Now, 1 to 2 weeks later, your fiancé's passport with the visa are delivered to him or her via courier. And then when your fiancé has 6 months to start the trip to join you in the USA. After arrival to the USA, you have 90 days to marry. Sorry, but even though you have persevered and gotten the fiancé visa, and your fiancé has come to the USA, and you have had your wedding and honeymoon, U.S. immigration is not done with you. There will be 2 more times that we must apply to U.S. immigration in order for your new spouse to remain with you in the USA. We overcame their skepticism and convinced them that your relationship was bona fide, so they issued the fiancé visa. But I'm afraid we have to do it all over again. And not once, but twice. After your wedding, your fiancé does not have to leave the country. She or she can remain with you as your spouse if you apply to U.S. immigration for permission for her to remain in the USA as a lawful permanent resident. This is called adjustment of status. Your new spouse adjusts her or his status from that of a temporary 90-day fiancé visa visitor to a permanent resident. And at the end of the adjustment of status application process, your spouse gets what is known as the green card. But, U.S. immigration is still cautious, still skeptical. The green card that is granted is only conditional, meaning it is only good for 2 years. And before the 2 years is up, we apply once again. This time it's called application for removal of conditions on residence. We apply, it is granted, and now your spouse gets a regular green card that doesn't have conditions. And a year later, your spouse is eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship and get a U.S. passport. And don't worry, even though there are many steps, VisaCoach is ready to help you through each and every one. From fiancé visa through to conditional green card, then unconditional green card, and finally to U.S. citizenship. This was Fred Wall, the VisaCoach. Now, please like or add your comments to this video. Then go to VisaCoach.com and sign up for the VisaCoach monthly newsletter. Each month it is full of tips and advice on marriage-based immigration, and it's free of charge. And when you sign up, you get 2 free ebooks that I've written, 120 K1 visa interview practice questions and 5 things you must know before starting on your visa. Finally, when you are ready to get started, call for your complimentary case evaluation and speak with me directly.
Before starting on your immigration adventure, before entering an arcane maze of rules, regulations, and procedures, before committing yourself to a risky path that could mean an end to your happiness, speak with the VisaCoach and ask for his free case evaluation. He listens to you to learn the red flags and strengths of your case, your eligibility and goals. He will suggest which visa is right for you, the best strategy to get it, and how soon your love could join you. VisaCoach's friendly advice and support might make the difference between approval and denial, and could save you months or years of loneliness and separation. What have you got to lose? Book your free evaluation today.